A lot of the talk and focus here in Washington, of course, is on the debt ceiling crisis, but at the same time, Republicans are out there jockeying around, trying to be in a position to win the Republican nomination for president. We're just half a year away now from the first voting. Let's look at an update on our Gallup trial heat procedure. This is where we ask Republicans nationwide which of a long list of candidates or potential candidates they would support for the nomination. This time we included 3 individuals who are not yet announced. That would be Sarah Palin, former vice presidential candidate and governor of Alaska; Rick Perry, the current governor of Texas, the second largest state in the union after California population-wise; and former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Let's look at the results here. The way we look at it, we have 5 candidates in double digits, all within 6 points of each other, when we have the results of who Republicans say they would support. So there are 5 candidates vying for top honors. Now, Mitt Romney, former Massachusetts governor, is at the top. He's been at the top in previous polls, but notice at 17%, he's just a couple of points ahead of the current governor of Texas, Rick Perry, at 15%. And then at 12%, another former governor, Sarah Palin, and then Rudy Giuliani and Michelle Bachmann, current congresswoman from Minnesota, at 11 percentage points. So those would be your top 5. And I would like to say again that 3 of those top 5 right now are not announced candidates. A lot of speculation that Perry may jump in. Whether or not Palin or Rudy Giuliani are going to jump in is anyone's guess. We certainly don't have any inside information on that right here. One other point that I would make is there's some sobering news here for some very much announced candidates who are out there actively working who just aren't getting much traction at all in our polling. That would include Tim Pawlenty, former Minnesota governor. Notice he only gets 2% of the potential Republican vote. Rick Santorum, who's a former senator from Pennsylvania, he only gets 2% of the vote. Ron Paul, who's a Libertarian candidate, actually does a little better than the others at 8% of the vote. And then there are Newt Gingrich and Jon Huntsman at the very bottom of a lot of our measures. Gingrich, of course, former Speaker of the House, not doing well at all at this point, despite the fact that he has very high name ID. And then Jon Huntsman. He's the former governor of Utah and former ambassador to China. A lot of pundits said Huntsman would be a very serious contender, but right now, at 2% of the vote, we can't find any evidence that he's making a real impact on Republican voters nationwide. That's our update for our July trial heat procedure here as we look at who's going to get the Republican nomination to vie against Barack Obama in the 2012 election. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Gallup's Editor-in-Chief.